Hi, if you look at my channel, it looks like I haven't uploaded since chapter 373. This is actually not accurate. I've actually been streaming every single chapter up until this point. I've actually been streaming all of the chapters. You can go to the live tab and see all the streams I've done. So if you'd like to see my reaction live for the chapters when they come out, do come join. You can talk to me, you can talk about certain things, share stuff. I stream every Tuesday and every Wednesday. Tuesday at AM PDT. In the morning around 8 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. Because that's how I read the chapter. That's when they come out. And then I stream Wednesday to do the serious discussions where I read through what people said on Reddit. I read through some of the comment section, and I read some of what the Japanese fans said on Twitter. I've also been, if you guys are interested, I've also been watching some of the hate reaction videos for Rent a Girlfriend and actually breaking them down and showing how they're kind of dumb and like they don't actually have a lot, like most of their arguments can easily be deconstructed. I watched the degenerosity video recently and pretty much just deconstructed the whole thing and took it apart and just kind of pointed out how most of what the person is saying in that video is either inaccurate to the manga or is rooted in their bias and what they believe rather than what's actually there. The next video we will be watching is the Mother's Basement Roast of Rent a Girlfriend video, which I've openly said many times I very much despise, but people have commented in the comment section that, oh, he makes some valid arguments. I'm here to tell you right now, almost everything he says is either factually incorrect or literally just wrong, and he made it the fuck up. So for this, I'm actually gonna be editing the stream, and then I'm gonna make it into a video so you guys can watch it, and it's just gonna be my reaction to the chapter. Now we're gonna get into chapter 377. Sorry for the long intro, but I hope you guys enjoy my reaction to this chapter. By the chapter. And let us beg, hi, Minnie. Hi, Minnie. I guess... Wait, she's a maid. How interesting. Very nice. Yes, nice. Those two are from the same college, are on a date today. Wow, really? Are they your classmates? They're 1 year ahead. One of them took a gap year, so he's 2 years older. Is she cute? She's super duper cute. She's built different. It'd be hard to find anyone nearly as cute as you, Koro-chan. That wig looks great on you. No, that's not true. Not true at all. She's the embodiment of cuteness. But thank you. Much love. Sorry, I'm kind of not feeling the voice acting today, but I got this. I'm gonna do it. What kind of voice should I give him? Do you think the two are gonna get along well? Actually, they're not a couple yet, right? I don't know. I don't know yet. They've already gone on tons of dates and kissed at least 3 times. Going by the facts alone, she still says that she doesn't know how she feels, even after living together for a month. What? Seriously? I mean, oh my god, Minnie with short hair is the cutest shit. Holy fuck. Yo. Damn, Minnie looks cute as fuck. So, why are we getting full page Minnie now? Is she gonna be more important in the future? No, this is setup. This is set up. Minnie has been at the core of their relationship this entire time. She's been present for a lot of these big moments. She's kind of been the shifter. So this is actually set up for the finale. She's setting up the big stage. Like, have you ever seen a play where someone comes in, literally set up the stage, like to tell you how things are gonna play out to some degree, or maybe question it, raise the questions for you, make me think a little bit? That's kind of what Minnie is right now. We're seeing her life, what she's currently doing, how she's off doing her own thing right now, but how even that, how she's thinking about them right now, how she has no influence, but she's thinking about it.
Spectacular!
I mean, I just hope it goes well. It doesn't feel very eventful. These words. These words. Koro-chan, would you mind looking into the camera? Sorry. Oh, I know, he was being very straight. Damn. Rating 377, my girlfriend in love, 26. Yeah, it's really funny. I knew this was going to happen. Chizuru's gonna react funny to see this. You saw it in the thumbnail. Because this spot is the spot Sumi took Kazuya, and it's a kissing spot. Oh, there it is. The Statue of Liberty. Yep, they have a replica of the Statue of Liberty here. Statue about freedom. Like literally this is about the characters achieving their freedom. This might be the first time seeing it up close, even though I've been to Odaiba many times. Really? I must have fooled myself into thinking I've seen all this before. It's a little bigger than I thought. It's like she's experiencing the same world anew because she's with him. It's only been 5 minutes and she's saying something so nice. Oh yeah, Reiji did it again. Reiji did it again. He skipped the walk to the destination. Rather, he used Minnie as setup. He's done this twice now. Yeah, no, the setup and the construction of the chapter is fascinating. The last part of my date plan has finally started. Okay, if Minnie did not set the tone, Kazuya said it very clearly. The last part of the date plan has finally started. We will either see an unexpected twist in the end, or it will truly end here. The nighttime beach in Odaiba. The beach is over there. Shall we go? Yeah. The last destination for today's date. Okay, we got it, but crap. I might have had too much to drink. I was trying to cut back. Mizuhara can handle her booze. Whoa, do you see that girl? Yeah, damn. I can tell she's a total babe, even in the dark. Want to chat her up? Nah, I'd be too nervous. She was glowing. I bet she's got a boyfriend. Kazuya, literally walking with her, does not get acknowledged. Still. Ah, there it is. We haven't seen these in a while. So this is important. Kazuya does this because of their commentary. Even though he's been on with her this entire time, it's because the reason this happens. So this is one of those cases where, you guys remember our last stream where the person would say, oh, this serves no purpose. It's just Reiji drawing up the pages. No, this does serve a purpose. Very simple. You're looking at this from Kazuya's perspective. And so what happens here? Kazuya, like doubling down on the fact that this is the last destination for today's date. Minnie sets up in the very beginning of the chapter, hey, they've kissed, they've done all this stuff. It doesn't seem that eventful. I really hope it goes well. Okay, hope is kind of the core setup here, right? They've set up this idea of hope, things going well, of being hopeful, of looking forward to something, of wanting to dream. Okay, so naturally, when Kazuya being a little drunk, and these guys come in, what happens? His desires resurface, his feelings resurface. So naturally, he goes into this thing he often does. Mizuhara's on another level. She stands out here in the city, unrivaled under the moonlight. Okay, so she's like a goddess in the moonlight. She's so stunning, even the trendiness girl would run away in shame. Damn. Okay, see how he's hyping her up now? It feels like he's hyping her up. It's not just the usual comments. Her figure is so radiant and divine, not even the playboys on YouTube would dare try to approach her. So this falls in line with Minnie as well now. Like Minnie was literally saying, Chizuru's cuter than me. Chizuru is like top tier cuter than me. She's fucking crazy. And Kazuya is now re-echoing her words. These words don't simply just exist to compliment Chizuru. No, she literally stands out. And I think it's fascinating that Chizuru's eyes are closed, and yet she's smiling and happy. She doesn't see that how she's glowing. She's literally glowing, right? The way Reiji highlights her, she's literally glowing in the page. Brilliant word by Reiji. Next time, I'd like to go to a private beach. Next for sure, we'll go out as a couple. Stupid me. I drank too much, right? And it's interesting how the way he hypes her up is a little different when he's drunk. Are we getting a full page? Okay, setting up, it's important. Those words remind us of the classic trope. I sure hope nothing bad happens and something bad happens. Except this is in reverse. This is in reverse. This feels like that Minnie literally said, things aren't eventful. I hope things go well. It's the reverse. She's like, okay, I hope they actually end up going well already. Come on, something big happened already. It's a self-awareness by Reiji in the writing that he's constructing. I'm glad the weather cleared up. Yeah, definitely. Wait, why am I so far away? She almost got hit on. Oh, he was just far enough. Yeah, he walked just far enough behind that it feels like he wasn't with her. Just his face. Damn, she can handle her alcohol. Kazuya is like drunk and she's just going. Ah, geez, where do you think you're touching? Oh my lord. Oh my lord. God, I've got to be careful with my choice of words, depending on what I say. She might think I'm a creep who dragged her to a romantic place just to try and get her in the mood by making her drink. That's funny. 0 points. Incredible. Yeah. Ooh, the way she turns away. That made Chizuru feel uncomfortable. Not Kazuya's actions, the scenario. She's not very good at handling this stuff because she's never done it herself. So naturally, she is uncomfortable about it. Damn it. This is so awkward. No. Anyway, we've got to move. Let's go over there. There. Right over there. Let's go. There's fewer people. Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. The direct reference to Sumi. That's so cool. And the Kazuya from then and the Sumi from then don't have faces. They've faded into the past. They're not who they are anymore. I can't do a single thing to help. That takes me back. At that point, or actually much longer before that point, I had feelings for Mizuhara. Don't we have something to talk about? Something that we need to talk about? How long has it been since I fell in love with her? A year and a half? 2 years? Now we're even on a private date. Wow, this is amazing. This is like $1 million nighttime view. Helicopter anyone much? We started off as just a rental girlfriend and a client, but a lot's happened since then. I might be finding out how it ends right after this. Thinking about it like that makes me super nervous. Whoa, I love the wind. Look at how his jacket is swaying. Look at how they're moving. That's so cool. This is a very underrated panel. The way he's slowly walking to her. This shit is filmed like a movie. Peak. Or presented like a movie. We can take it easy here. No one's around. Aside from the couples making out. Still, this is a really romantic place. Thank you, Sumi-chan. But what now? Is Mizuhara enjoying the night view? I like how he goes from relaxed and just kind of vibing because that's how the environment evokes that from you. And yet he has whiplash and he wants to talk now. I think that's so fascinating how the literal atmosphere is calming him down when the intention was for it to help Chizuru calm down. It's really pretty. Yeah. How am I supposed to make this into a more serious conversation? He's been really quiet after what happened earlier. Doesn't feel like the right time. Is it still awkward? Guess when push comes to shove, I might have to tell her my feelings. That makes the most sense, right? She's worried about how to try to break the ice too. It'd be the nice thing for me to do. What do I say? It's super important how I tell her. Duh, I've got to calm down. It's only 9 o'clock. Mizuhara's the one who says she'd give me an answer. There's still plenty of time. The beach still has lots of space. We can take a stroll on the coast and figure out by the time we get to the other side. How about we head over there? Damn it, I should have drunk more alcohol. Don't have the courage. Want to head back to the hotel? Yeah. That was when I realized something. Cheer up date? Is that you? We haven't held hands all day. There it is. The teaser for this chapter is hand. And then in that moment, you feel the disconnect. You feel the true lack of connection that has been present this entire date, that you have not actually physically touched each other. They haven't held hands yet. I guess the closer you are, the less you do it, because you're connected in your hearts. Still, that didn't mean I won Mizuhara over, or that the date was a success. But that was enough to make me feel really happy. Oh, he looked back at Umi. I had never thought I'd be so happy not to hold hands with her. I felt pretty dumb about it all, but I let it sink in. For all but 2 seconds. Huh? Wait, a second. Oh my god. She actually grabbed his hand. Oh my god, the scenery. Stop. This is so big. I want to talk right here. That's where it fucking ends. That's where it fucking ends. That's where it fucking ends. Wow. This chapter is fucking insane. The details on Reishi can draw hands, bro. You don't understand how hard it is to draw hands. Reiji can draw hands. Bro, that looks like... No, Kazuya has shorter fingers than me. I have longer fingers. Reiji never fails to leave us hanging. That was the cliffhanger of cliffhangers. I love the callbacks. I love Minnie. This is like the perfect build-up chapter. And the way Chizuru's hand just sneaks in and grabs his, stops him from leaving. She stops him from leaving, right? This is a callback to so many different things. This is a callback to the beach arc. This is a callback to the cheer update. This is a callback to even the last rental day they went on, right? And the thing I really want to point out about this last shot, how she is hidden in shadow and he is illuminated in light. I think it's really important to point out Chizuru went from being here to now being here. She literally walked into his territory. She changed her position so that she could reach for him, so that he wouldn't leave or walk away. This is the twist Minnie was talking about. This is what the beginning of the chapter was hyping up. It has not been eventful. I hope something big happens. Big, like it was literally telling you, again, what I said to you, 3D model, what I said earlier, it's the reverse of what you said. It is the reverse of what you said. That no, we're gonna flip the script now. It's gonna be like, okay, I hope something positive happens instead of I hope nothing negative happens. And something positive does happen, right? It's so fascinating, the reversal of events and how Kazuya is happy. Like in a story, this would make you sad. Usually in a traditional story, not holding hands with someone would make you sad. And yet here, Kazuya is thinking to himself, wow, I'm happy we didn't hold hands. I'm happy we didn't physically connect, but it's about that moment. Looking back at that moment, how back then when she was with Umi, she never held his hand. She never physically got close to him. That holding hands was this fake gesture, and that there was actually more meaning to it. And it takes this trope of anime characters overreacting to hand holding and being kind of like, ooh, hand holding is like akin to sex and all that stupid crap you would hear, and making it like something really meaningful. Real emphasis on the hand. I'm so glad I made the thumbnail. Literally every character either waving or just like doing this with their hand or something. I'm so glad I committed to that. It takes this trope of characters holding hands or yeah, like just in general that, and gives it so much more meaning and weight. It's a true subversion of the trope, a true reversal of this stupid writing trope you've seen so many times in romance anime and romance manga, and really gives it a meaning, with Reiji truly giving emphasis to the hand, and then Chizuru's hand reaching and grabbing his anyway, not just symbolically changing the events, but then also reversing the events, with Chizuru actually grabbing his hand. And I want you to notice, if we go back throughout the date, what happened throughout the date is that they would bump into each other. They would wonder if they should share an umbrella, get physically close. There was Kazuya wanting to get closer to Chizuru as they walked. There was Chizuru also, when they went into the haunted house, Chizuru grabbed his shoulder. She wanted to be physically close to him for safety. And then now we're literally holding hands, right? They're physically getting closer and closer and closer with each chapter. Isn't that super interesting? Very anticlimactic ending. Can't wait for chapter next Tuesday. Well, to me, this is not anticlimactic. What the fuck's wrong with you? What the fuck are you talking about? This shit ain't anticlimactic. The hell? This is like pure climacticalism. Let's go. Chizuru hand holding Kazuya suddenly is a callback to her tugging her jacket at the hospital. So hyped for the next chapter of the last week of May. Oh wow, it is the last week of May, and oh my shit. June 1st is Kazuya's birthday. June 1st is Kazuya's birthday. Is this gonna be like the ultimate birthday present? God damn, Reiji. Yo, Reiji is setting up insanely hard. You ever make an anime out of this arc, the date will make up a whole season, lol. This is chapter 307. Did you say like 7 is lucky? Well, 7 is a lucky number, and so is 3. This has been kind of Kazuya's arc ever since we got into the 300s. 377 is a lucky number, but interestingly, there's actually hidden meaning in the numbering that I'll point out to you guys. So this is My Girlfriend in Love 26. 6 is a boring number. 6 is considered a boring number. Many saying things aren't eventful, things appearing boring at first, and then there's a twist in the end that is exciting, fits in line with the numbering of the chapter. 26 is a boring number because it's 2 and then the 6. 3 is a lucky number and it's Kazuya's number, 7, 7, double sevens. And then Kazuya is literally liberated in the end of the chapter through Chizuru reaching out for him, right? He's literally finding like self-awareness in this state and almost waking up. And it's so fascinating it's happening in the night, right? I think it's unbelievably fitting that this is happening at nighttime for a few simple reasons. One, nighttime is the time of dreams. It is literally the time for Kazuya as a character, because in a lot of ways for him, it's the time where like the stars are out in the sky. You can dream, you can believe in things. Interestingly, a lot of Kazuya's big transformations as a character have happened at night, because the day is his time. The day is his time. The day is when he is himself. So the nighttime being Kazuya's world, and us literally starting with the bridge, the literal. So what do bridges symbolize? What is a bridge? What does a bridge do? It connects two separate things. Allows people to cross across. What does Chizuru do in this chapter? She reaches out for him. She connects physically, right? A literal connection of hands, like a bridge, right? That's something Reiji has built as a motif for this entire arc. Let me just show you very briefly. Chapter 351 is the chapter before this arc starts. P.S. I named this JPEG Cinema. It's literally called Cinema. Because it literally looks like cinema. What do you see in the background? What do you see in the background? The first thing we see before the arc starts, this is chapter 351. It literally says the day before. What do we see behind Chizuru? Dawn or twilight, and this is the Odaiba Rainbow Bridge. The theme is literally about connection, right? It's literally about that. You also see the word kiss. They go to a famous kissing spot. And then it says Aqua City X Kiss. Aqua City is like what the mall is called, I believe. And Kiss is it's a fashion store, I believe. And this is the two together. So like Reishi sets up these very particular things and frames it like it's cinema, like a film. And what did I say while we were going through this chapter? It feels cinematic. It feels like an actual. It feels like you're watching a film. The structure, the presentation, dude. If the anime could present this half as well as like the manga is presenting it, like give it the same. Do you think Kazuya making the deduction that not holding hands initially means she's taking the date seriously rather than rental in which she holds hands out of obligation is logical? Yes, it is a very logical assumption to make. If anything, the point of that is to actually be the culmination of that thought process. Throughout most of this day, Kazuya has constantly had such a similar thought process of she's taking this date seriously. It's not rental. She's taking this date seriously. Chizuru says it multiple times. Them not holding hands is the ultimate culmination of that, because not only does it come full circle to Kazuya seeing Umi and Chizuru in the past and them not holding hands and thinking, oh, they're connected emotionally, which ends up being a reversal of how he felt right here in this moment, which is super fitting, because what I mean by that is that Kazuya thinking, oh, they're connected emotionally, they don't need to hold hands, but then here they are connected emotionally and now physically. It literally completes the thought he had of her and Umi, except now it's with him, not with Umi. He's no longer an outsider. He is literally in this world with her, and she drags him back into that world. Except Kazuya, interestingly, wasn't thinking about the rental thing. And now that I think about it, Kazuya was not thinking about the rental thing. This, if anything, goes past that, goes further than that, really kind of completes it, I would argue. And I think that's super fitting. I also think Reiji redrew this of Kazuya. I could be wrong, though. But yes, this completes that thought without actually nodding to it whatsoever. Reiji did a lot in this chapter. There's a lot to break down and talk about. Maybe the fact that they're talking near an ocean is meant to highlight that the conversation will start a new chapter in their lives, because oceans and rain both have something to do with water. And what is in Chizuru's name? Both Mizuhara and Ichinose. Ichinose doesn't directly say the word river or water. The words are ichi, one, no, a connecting phrase, and se, a riptide or a flowing current, which nods to water. In particular, it's supposed to, if you look up the meaning of Chizuru's name and like where Reiji specifically referenced it, it's referring to a current in a river, which matches perfectly with Kazuya, which is peace and harmony shared under the tree. That is the meaning of Kazuya's name. So those two things fall together perfectly. Mizuhara, in contrast, is Mizuhara. Mizu means water, but in particular, Mizu is a type of word you use for water that's adaptable. Again, I'm going to call back to Demon Slayer. I've been doing that a lot recently. The Mizu no Kyoku, the water form in Demon Slayer, is considered the best form to start with because it is the most adaptable. And if you noticed, almost all of their moves are consistently different. They have different forms and where they take place and like what kind of water they are. And it's because that's the word for water that's the most adaptable. It's also the one they use for drinking water for some reason. But Mizu is like the most adaptable term for water because it can be any form of water. So Chizuru having that last name, that connection to water, in Mizuhara is very important because it falls in line with her adaptability as an actress in that role. So that's something I also wanted to point out. So yes, water is very relevant here, and Kazuya likes marine life. In terms of the meaning of the ocean is both meant to kind of represent, in literature, the ocean oftentimes represents freedom, and yet in that freedom, something kind of destructive, because the ocean is large and expansive, and it can be both a good thing and a bad thing. And this is why most of the times whenever the characters go to the ocean, when they're not like protected or safe, something bad happens, but then something good also happens. As for the rain in Japan, there's a phrase for rain that goes something along the lines like this: when after it rains, the ground hardens, which basically is something similar to after you cry and you suffer and you let it all out, you actually get stronger. So that's the phrase some Japanese fans have told me might be relevant here. Ring will come back at some point. Yes, it will. Yes, it will. The ring is very much going to be relevant here. There is still a lot of conflict to resolve. I love how Minnie is still posing while saying this. What? Seriously? So it ends with Minnie not looking and messing up, missing the cute, beautiful bridge in front of her, matching how Kazuya is not looking at Chizuru and looking at his hand and kind of missing Chizuru in the process, and she has to pull him back, almost like Kazuya was leaving in some ways, like mentally leaving somewhere, not just physically leaving, and she pulls him back, and I think that's so interesting. I think Reiji will stress Chizuru's confession over several chapters. I think it's going to be more, it's not just going to be a confession. I think there's a misunderstanding. It's not going to be just a confession, but next chapter is going to be fucking big. Did you enjoy this chapter? It was actually fucking amazing. This chapter was actually really, really good. Wow, here it is. So the first thing we see when we get to Odaiba Beach is the Statue of Liberty. That's the first thing we see, like with the characters, right? The first is the bridge. Then these two towers, characters walking, mostly couples, a girl and a guy kissing. And then here, it's the Statue of Liberty. That's the thing these two characters see. And I love how Chizuru has this like reminiscent look, like looking back. Oh my God, she does the same thing he does. I just realized. Chizuru says, I might have just fooled myself into thinking I've seen all this before. It's a little bigger than I thought. Kazuya, looking back to that moment, realizing he hadn't experienced the entire thing. Kazuya, literally the way Chizuru looks back and realizes she's experiencing something completely new here, and feeling good about it in a way she'd never considered before, is the same as Kazuya in that very end of the chapter. They bookend each other. They complete each other. Cyberman, water goes into the flow. Ichinose, her name alludes to improv acting. I was an acting major. Just thought I'd point that out. I think the initial purpose of the name was to contrast Mizuhara, which is a still plane of water. That's kind of what that means, in contrast to one singular riptide, which is the meaning of her other name, or one riptide, which is like a very intense current of focus. So there is that was to me the contrast, but I could maybe see what you're talking about. The name has this thing where the flow could be very intense, but but it could also be something you can walk through. It has a double meaning. So it was, to me, that alluded more to the Ichinose family and how like they could be very, very intense, but they can also be very like something you can comfortably walk through without any pressure or challenge. It's meant to represent more of the Ichinose family as a whole rather than just Chizuru. I think that's kind of important to point out, especially considering how her last name contrasts her first name. Her last name, Ichinose, does not work well with her second name to some degree, for a very simple reason. Her first name means 1,000 paper cranes. Her last name means a single current of water. Paper melts in water, right? Paper falls apart in water. She has a lot of paper cranes that she can focus onto it. She has 1,000 paper cranes that she can focus onto a single current, which is really cool, naming wise conventionally. But then the name contrasts that, and this is why Kazuya's name works so well, because Kazuya's last name and his first name together mean peace and harmony shared under a tree. Right? Kazuya channels his last name to create a comfort space for those paper cranes that literally shields them from water, right? Like a tree is a safety place, it's a home, it's something that can shield you from the rain, but can also like take some of that water away from her last name, right? I think thematically speaking, that's really interesting. I also want to point out all of the Ichinoses, the women at least, have a first name that is a flower. Sayuri's name means large lily. Sayuri, large, Yuri means lily. Chizuru's mom's name, Kasumi, means beautiful like a flower or something like that. And it's meant to echo her mom's name, but she doesn't blend well with the Ichinose name because she's not a flower, she's like a flower. And then she gives Chizuru a name that is the antithesis of a flower. It is paper, it's made from a tree, right? But it's not a flower, and so it doesn't work well with water. And it can easily crumble underwater. And that's how Chizuru essentially constantly has a clash with her own name, with her own lineage, if you will. And that's a big part of her story here, is that the Ichinose name literally rains on her and she has to protect herself with an umbrella. She has to fight the rain or make it work for her in some way. She's literally fighting her own lineage. Chizuru got so many good shots in this chapter, right? My perfect boyfriend speech coming, dude. I literally think it is. What should we expect from this build-up? Should we be looking forward to a confession likely by Chizuru and they get together, or something more subtle like asking Kazuya to stay? There's going to be many, many layers to this, Robo. This is not simple. Reiji has set up a lot. There is still a lot of like inconsistencies with Chizuru. She's still confused and lost. There is a lot of conflicts to be addressed. I don't think Chizuru has come to her answer. I think Chizuru still does not know if what she feels is love, but she knows she wants him to stay at the very least. And I think there is a lot to talk about and break down. This isn't going to be a simple confession. This isn't just going to lead into a confession immediately. I don't think so. I've adamantly disagreed with this. I think there's going to be a discussion, a talk that's complicated. There's a possibility of a fight, and then maybe after the fight, they maybe physically connect in some way and they might have sex, but I don't. Reiji has made it very unclear intentionally. He's intentionally made it very unclear what's going to happen, and there's going to be a decent amount of conflict that's going to be happening here. There's going to be a lot of discussions. There's going to be like, we're really kind of going to start understanding Chizuru. Think of this less as a confession of Chizuru's and more of us truly understanding what's been going on under Chizuru this entire time. That's what this scene is. Think of it less as a confession, because Reiji has adamantly made it clear confessions don't get you the result you want, not in real life. That's not how that works. You don't just confess to someone and whoop-de-doo, you get together. No, Reiji is pointing out how there's a lot to break down, a lot to dissect, and it's not going to just happen with a confession. This isn't going to be Chizuru's confession. Chizuru is not an orthodox female character. She is the antithesis of that. She fundamentally criticizes traditional female characters. She literally says this in her dialogue. She literally says, like, the gender roles are usually like the guy leads, the guy does the stuff, the guy pays, this and this and that. But I think that's kind of stupid, and I'm going to be okay with leading again sometime. I'm okay if we like interchange between that. And it was literally her saying, like, probably I'm the one who's going to be taking charge and shifting things and moving stuff around. And it's not going to be traditional. She's not going to just confess and things are going to work out. I think Reiji shows us with these two, they're going to be later with all their couples being shown throughout the chapter from making out to sex. Yeah, and considering Chizuru's uncomfortability with these elements, and her still reaching for his hand in the end of the chapter, I think that's really, really important, that Chizuru is very uncomfortable with physical contact, especially with Kazuya, and yet she pushes herself to do physical contact even though, like, she's not comfortable with it. I agree with that assessment. Chizuru is not at a point where she can comfortably confess to Kazuya, right? She's not confident in her feelings. How can she give someone else a confession if she doesn't feel confident in her own feelings and if she doesn't fully love herself? Chizuru in this arc has been slowly learning to love herself. If you can't love yourself, it's very hard to love other people. Granted, Kazuya and Chizuru are both the antithesis of what I just said, but I think what I mean by that is that they need to start loving themselves in order to truly love the other person the way that they want to, just so their insecurities don't get in the way, right? I feel like the confession is going to be Chizuru's deconstructing her character. I don't know. I think there is going to be a deconstruction of her character and her kind of understanding herself, but there's also going to be a deconstruction of Kazuya's character. This entire arc has been about like breaking you down to your base and figuring out who you are. Kazuya's perfect girlfriend speech also didn't include an explicit confession, so Chizuru can do something like that. This is the antithesis of the cheer update. It is the reverse of it. The cheer update's very nature is selfless with a selfish side underneath. But this is the reverse. This is the reverse of that. This is literally a selfish state with a selfless side underneath. The fundamental nature of this state is selfish. It is about desire. It is about doing what you want, not just doing it for someone else. So it's not going to be like the cheer update. It may nod to it. A lot of this has been nods to the cheer update. I mentioned this as we were reading through the chapter. A lot of this has been nods to the cheer update, like them going to this secluded area, them having this very quiet space just to themselves, right? The way Reiji pans it and structures it, how it's like silent, how Kazuya is reminiscing and looking back. This shot, which to me is pure fucking cinema, them walking to the edge, the silence between them. Notice how Chizuru in the cheer update is putting on an act of being okay when she's not okay. Here she's quiet, she doesn't know what to do, and Kazuya is the one who's seemingly kind of acting. Kazuya reminisces and thinks akin to the cheer update, but it's not the same. It's the reverse of it, if anyways, because Kazuya looks back at the time he had with Chizuru, but he's happy he's not connecting rather than sad he can't reach her. It's literally the opposite. It's literally structured the fucking reverse of that. Yeah, overall the current arc, we can see that Chizuru is still in doubt of meaning about her feelings. There, Kez. Yeah, agreed. This is selfish. Her speech will probably be how selfish she is, right? It'll be Chizuru slowly revealing her true selfishness, maybe. The opposite of the cheer update. The breakdown date. Breakdown. I love that JoJo opening. break down. Okay, so I sent him the images. This reads, Iyamori's son, the advisor, even during work, is worrying about them. Nothing here. Yeah, I knew there was nothing there, but I had to try. Finally revealed, Mizuhara's feelings, the investigation's results. Next time. But what did I say about that but not being there and not getting explained. What am I referring to, you might be asking? What am I referring to, you might be asking? Oh my shit. Shit, what chapter was it? It was chapter 3. It was 69, 70. Let's just check them. I'll know. I'll get like a guesstimate. First try. But don't worry. I have no doubt. I don't have any doubts either about your feelings. But ... You don't see her face. She is hidden. She is invisible. Kazuya thinks he heard something and he doesn't. And this singular but looms all over the chapter and is never resolved. The only resolution you get for what this but is right here at the end. She pulls out the ring. The fuck? This is that but. There's that relevance of that but. Us coming back to the but, Reiji making us think back to this chapter and how the ring was present in that chapter. Chizuru might say she wants him to stay, maybe she wants him to date or something, or all that stuff, and she clearly, like, she describes this clearly love, and then she's gonna pull a butt, and then that butt is gonna be the subversion of everything, of just like, okay, something is wrong here. I believe what Chizuru is gonna do is basically, like, essentially kind of like, it's gonna seem like some sort of confession. Like, she's gonna be like, I care about you, you mean a lot to me, like basically telling Kazuya you've always mattered in some ways, essentially confirming what he felt in this chapter. But, and then that but is gonna subvert everything, and we're gonna finally start exploring that, whether it be Chizuru's guilt, Chizuru's lack of certainty in her feelings, the ring, her sense of duty, all these conflicting things that are existing with her emotions, right? And something I really want to point out, many people have asked me this in the comment section. I really want to point this out. People kept asking me in the comment section, the rain clearing up, doesn't that mean Chizuru found her answer? No. The symbolism of the rain, let me pull up the chapter that best reflects this. The symbolism of the rain, I think it's chapter 363 or 362. 362. Let's try that. Let's try 362. I am so good. I get it right every fucking time. Let's go. I'm so good. 362. The symbolism of the rain. What is the point of the rain? The rain in this arc represents the generational trauma. It represents the depression, the lineage of the Ichinose family. It represents Chizuru's grief. It basically represents all of these things that are literally, as you visually see here, muddying the past experiences and everything you have felt, right? This rain is pouring over the city, right? The city that you've seemingly understood for this entire time is now being rained on, and it feels a little bit harder to see, right? There's literally lines cutting through the pages. Then there's lines cutting through their old homes. Chizuru's name is no longer there, and yet Kazuya's name is holding on. This is the only thing Chizuru can recognize in this scene, is that Kazuya is not giving up. He's holding on even though everything seemingly should be falling apart. This is describing Chizuru's feelings to you. You get to the next page. Another memory. This is when they went on the ferry in the beach arc and Chizuru fell and Kazuya saved her. And again, there's rain there, right? This is a place that's not very close to here, right? They needed to drive a car to get there, and yet it's raining. This is either the shrine when she was with Kuri, or the shrine where Kazuya and his family went to get the stuff. Either way, again, there's rain, right? This is inside, and this one is kind of clear. This is from the cheer update, right? But then you go back to, this is the Tokyo Dome. This is when they went on the dream date. It's raining, again, muddied. Even this place, even this small place, so this is the cheer update, it's muddied, right? And then you get to the headstone of the Ichinose family, and there's rain there. And that rain is falling on a carnation flower. The carnation flower is representative of motherly love. It is literally the flower of Mother's Day, right? And it's literally on the Ichinose grave, representative of Sayuri and how she was essentially Chizuru's mother. And this is Chizuru's lingering grief unable to fade. In contrast, I believe in either in the next chapter or the chapter after that, we see Kibe standing in front of a grave. We see Kibe standing in front of a grave, and what is in front of the grave that he's standing in front of? It's a hibiscus flower. And a hibiscus flower means a delicate beauty, but it also means new love. So you have a lost motherly love that we see is being muddied by the rain. In contrast, the new love that we see with Kibe in front of the Kinoshita grave is there's no rain, it's very clear. And then finally, the two things we see here are the bridge being rained on, so it's hard to fully see it. It's even literally being contrasted by the white, which is very brilliant by Reiji. And then we get to Joypolis, the city of literal joy, also being rained on. And then we turn to the characters themselves. In contrast, you have Minnie out in the night, glowing, and she is very clearly visible. Okay, like the visibility is kind of a big thing here, right? Basically, what this is saying is that when you are going through grief, when you're going through depression, when you're going through like guilt and all of these negative things, it becomes very hard to see the things that are right in front of you. It becomes extremely hard to see what is right in front of you. And this is just true. Like, go talk to any fucking therapist. They will tell you this. They will tell you, like, when you are going through this stuff, it muddies your road. You cannot see. It's like a fog. You are suffering from trauma, from grief, from tragedy, from depression, and you cannot see what's right in front of you. Things are not clear. So that's kind of something I really wanted to share. That's kind of what the rain represents, and too many people did not understand that. So I just really wanted to point that out. At least I believe that's the meaning. Something I felt reading the last 2 pages was like 213. 213. Oh, is that when Kazuya grabs Chizuru's hand and says, wait, as a reversal of that, and she runs away? So let me pull it up so you guys know what the fuck I'm talking about. In Paradise, Chizuru stops Kazuya from confessing, knowing full well what he's trying to do. She walks away, Kazuya stops her and grabs her hand. But look at how forceful this is. A huge issue that was happening in Paradise is there's this dissonance happening between Kazuya and Chizuru's characters. They're not fully understanding what's going on, and they're not communicating. This is Kazuya trying to bulldoze ahead. This is the opposite of this scene. This is the conversation isn't over yet. This is the opposite, right? And then Chizuru leaves and creates a misunderstanding. Right, and it's a very sad scene, right? Like, damn, it literally got left at the altar. It's brutal as fuck. This is not that. This is the opposite of that. This is Kazuya lost in his own world, thinking and saying we should go, but he paused and started looking at his hand, and Chizuru stopping him from leaving, but she doesn't forcefully grab his hand. Notice how she grabs his hand. She just puts her hand over his. Right? It's literally like, see me, I'm here. I want to connect with you here, right? Like, it's not forceful, it's gentle. Whereas Kazuya's was forceful, and that's the reason it didn't work out. Like, if anything, I think that scene in chapter 213 is a fundamental criticism of those, you know, forced confession scenes that are really fucking stupid. And then the female character accepts and all that bullshit. No, this is like, no, you need to communicate. You need to be honest and open with each other. No one has more dominance in the relationship, not the guy and not the girl. That's not how this works. And for someone who drank beer and highball hours ago, they're surprisingly sober. It hasn't been hours. It's been like a few minutes. It was already almost 9. Breaking down the walls, Chizuru has held up this whole time the breakdown date. She will return the ring to Kazuya. No, this is taking parts from Paradise and taking parts from the movie arc. So it's not going to be returned. She can't return the ring. She literally cannot. It is part of her duty, if you will. She can't return the ring, but she can't have it either, and she doesn't know what to do. This reflects Chizuru's confusion. Only for her to ask him to have him hold the ring for her to wear. I don't know about that. The but maybe to complete break off with Ruka and we can go. No, that doesn't, Chris, that doesn't make, she literally, okay. Clearly some of us haven't been paying attention. Chapter 365. What does Chizuru say here? About what we just talked about. I was happy back then. When I found out that you told me how you felt. After you broke up with Ruka-chan, it made me happy. Thank you for showing me that you're serious. The problem here, Chris, is that you are putting the weight of the situation onto Kazuya when it is onto Chizuru. This is about Chizuru figuring her shit out. Kazuya doesn't really need to do or show her really much. Kazuya has already proven beyond of a shadow of a doubt he's a great partner. This isn't about Kazuya showing her anything else. This is about Chizuru figuring her shit out, not for Kazuya to make some sort of gesture. When Chizuru's mother was in labor, there was a violent thunderstorm. When Chizuru was born, the storm stopped. Incorrect, Lawless Bacon. The storm kept going. Do you know why the storm stopped? Sayuri walked in because Sayuri represents the sun. She literally said this to Chizuru. You all need to pay more attention. I'm gonna fucking teach you today. You gotta learn today. Okay. Wow, it's completely cleared up. The forecast said there would be a 70% chance of rain. It's because I'm a ray of sunshine. No need to applause. You may thank me later. You don't quit, do you? Okay. Now you, on the other hand, oh boy, it was pouring the day you were born, and the thunder and lightning, whoa, what a storm. Then I showed up at the hospital, and wouldn't you know it, the sun came out. Please stop, you're kind of crushing my soul. Some people are just surrounded by rain clouds, and an actress who rains on everyone, that's a tough life. Well then, when I become an actress, I'll make the rain work for me. In chapter 131, just prior to this, she literally makes the rain stop by talking to Kazuya. Rain clouds followed Kasumi too. Her entrance exams, her coming of age ceremony, her wedding, it rained every time. One day, Katsuhito's son took her to school. She spent the whole time just looking at the sky and sulking. You two are so similar, so beautiful, so diligent, and with such great eyes for fashion. But dying before her mother, what kind of daughter does that? Yeah, well, don't worry, Grandma, not gonna have any trouble outlasting you. My, where did you learn to talk big like that? Someone rubbing off on you? And it's literally Kazuya. Because Rent-A-Girlfriend as a series has actively always said that nothing is just bad or good, everything is both. So it actively does that, so the rain is very much the same. I do feel like Kazuya will get his heart broken or something like that I feel like the storm is coming. No, because the storm already cleared, that doesn't make sense. Kazuya's not going to get his heart broken. Reiji has been building this up for a long time. I do think there will be some conflict and some negativity, but I don't think the end result will be getting your heart broken, because that seems very antithetical to what Chizuru wants, which is to make him happy. What if the typhoon comes back and they get trapped in the hotel? That would be kind of funny, but I don't see it because literally everything has been going as planned. So I don't see it. Serious version. The beginning of the mini seems interesting. The fact that it's mentioned a photo shoot being successions could be a sign of how far Kazuya and Chizuru's time so far is going to be. Wait, what? Wait. This is very nice. This shoot was in college. Oh, group 1, group 2, group 3, group 4, 5, 6. Interesting. So these are different groups that are going to come in and take photos of Minnie. Or no, is she on her 8th? Yeah, she's on her 8th. Yeah, it's 9 p.m. in the story right now. So she would be like at a very different point right now. This isn't like accurate, so why show this? That is interesting that he points that out. 6 sessions could be a sign of how far Kazuya and Chizuru's time at the park is going to be. We don't know. It's funny, the more Kazuya and Chizuru walk, not only does it become more atmospheric, but their demeanor changes too. Kazuya, instead of being nervous, is feeling more calm, sentimental, while Chizuru is more quiet and serious. And there's constant whiplash in their feelings. It's very clever. Well, knowing how everything has been throughout this date, I can see that this time in the park, like Chizuru's emotions, will be anything but simple. As the old saying goes, calm before the storm. Oh, the rain is gone, but now there's a different kind of storm. I love how Chizuru is slightly in the dark, yet there is a bit of light shining on her while Kazuya is glowing. Yeah, the light is shining onto Chizuru, but she herself is in the dark. It's literally the child Chizuru underneath coming out. And it's something I really want to point out about this shot that the person did not mention, but I felt like mentioning. Throughout most of this, Kazuya is the one who's been blushing. Chizuru did not blush in like any of these scenes. Even here, it's like very slight blushes, but here Chizuru is in full blush, and you see her mostly in the darkness, but the light is creeping in, so you're starting to see her more clearly. That's kind of an important thing I want to point out. So, though this moment where Kazuya is going to be light out of Chizuru's shadow, if Kazuya is the sun after the rain, then now it's going to be the moonlight too. Now that I know it's a traditional that people would kiss or do some sexual at the park of the night, anime, manga, etc., but are people seriously fucking in the bushes after it stopped raining literally a couple minutes ago, manga time? It wasn't minutes ago. It wasn't minutes ago. The rain stopped about like a few hours ago. I think there's a bit of suspension of disbelief happening here. I'm gonna be real. There's a tad bit of suspension of disbelief happening here, and that's fine. It's not a massive thing. And readers to let reminisce how much Kazuya has been through and how much love, effort, and patience Kazuya has extended to break Mizuharu's walls. I really don't like that metaphor anymore of breaking down Chizuru's walls. I don't agree with that metaphor anymore, or analogy, whatever we want to fucking call it, because it still functions around the same basis of destroying something in order to make it work. It's not about destruction. This is about building. Think of it like this. It's not about destroying a wall. It's about taking down a wall and making it into a bridge. That's what this is. This is about taking down the wall willingly and making it into a bridge. You're not here to destroy these pieces. You're not here to tear down something you've built. You're here to rearrange it, to make it something else. And so I don't agree with this analogy. Maybe this was the point at the start of the series, and Minnie has echoed this a few times too. But the point now is that we're not walking that path anymore. We're changing things up. We're not gonna do that anymore. It doesn't work. That's not the correct argument. Kazuya's genuinely happy even without any physical contact with Chizuru. Her efforts haven't been in vain. She helped him regain some confidence and ease his insecurities. Even when he thinks it's enough, she comes even closer, taking his hand. And this will be important for what comes next. I think the strong trust Kazuya has developed in Chizuru is likely going to be tested in the upcoming chapters. A good setup chapter. Kazuya's nervous thoughts fits completely here. He's understandably worried about the answer that he knows might be coming soon enough, so it all feels natural. On the hand holdings, while I notice it the same as him, I think he's straight up wrong but still reached the correct conclusion. What do you mean? Chizuru has been expressing her feelings far more than physical affection in words, and Nagomi said explicitly she's a clingy girl. So them not holding hands to me seems more Chizuru being serious about them rather than not needing it. That's exactly what he was thinking. That's exactly what he was thinking. What the fuck are you talking about? That's exactly what he was thinking. That means she was never serious about Umi. She wouldn't just naturally touch him just because they were out together, just because they were close. She doesn't just touch people if she's not serious. She does that because it is an obligation out of rental. Now the background characters holding hands, kissing, etc. The public was been fun of seemingly impactful for Kazuya and Chizuru. They're still young adults, and Chizuru's reaction clearly shows that she wants to do these things as well, even if she won't admit it. It's kind of a bit of her tsundere element kind of coming back. As I said, nice chapter. The rain finally cleared up, which is obviously a good sign, and seeing Minnie doing things outside the main story is always nice. Can't wait for the next chapter. The final pages are giving me strong last scenes of her feelings. Wow, Veracaz, you didn't write much this time, huh? First impressions. Oh wow, Kazuya only just realized that they didn't hold hands all day. But yes, the teaser referring to holding hands, I didn't think Kazuya would be happy about it, and he felt much closer to her despite not having touched her. It was actually a pretty cute realization. Chizuru wants to give a talk right here, so I guess that's what we'll get next week. Yeah, the buts have been reversals. There's been a lot of reversal of the traditional approach that Reiji has been doing this entire time, which is like they start negative and they get positive. So it'd be interesting if the date either continues with that idea, so she starts negative, like, oh, maybe we shouldn't do this, we shouldn't do that, we shouldn't do this, but something positive. Or it's a reversal of events. It starts positive and then pulls out the butt, and that would be interesting. I hope it is a positive response from her. However, I think she will say how appreciative she is of him and all the things she has done for her. Then the butt will be something like she doesn't know if she loves him. I still think the date is setting the groundwork for a bigger, more dramatic confession in the next 10 to 15 chapters from her. Yeah, it doesn't feel like now is confession, but I don't know. I think her heartstrings were already tugged by the ghosting. It's obvious they were both brokenhearted. Chizuru was already fragile after the fight with Mami and Ruka, and I think the fact that Kazuya didn't hunt her down and confess to her after her really broke her. No. Actually, Kazuya not doing that was a good thing. Kazuya not going after her was a good thing because she was lost and confused. If anything, it was her turn to move. I don't agree with that. After all, it's obvious to her that he was trying to confess before him, but after she kisses him. No, she knew what he was trying to do, and she stopped him on multiple fronts and avoided him and blocked him out. You're You're kind of misremembering events. I'm with Verka's. The most likely option, since this is what she's been saying since the Paradise arc, is I don't think it's love yet, but I want to be with you. But the last two suggestions you made are really convincing. I think it makes more sense in the story for the result to be I do believe I'm in love with you and I want to be your girlfriend, but there's some other things we need to be get resolved first. Then she'll own up to Umi's confessing her and tell Chizuru that she wants to reject him before getting into an actual relationship. Then we can come to the real obstacles. She'll say that she'll need to address the problem with Ruka. They can't seriously date with them hanging out there. I think the setup extracts the task. That could work, but there seems to be more at play here. I don't fully agree that it's that simple. That could work. Wall has become a trigger word, lol. Maybe we need some other metaphor for the concealment of one's internal truth. The wall is a fitting word. The wall is a fitting word, Cyber Demon. There's nothing wrong with the wall. It's breaking down the wall that I have a problem with. It's the destruction of something, not the rebuilding of it. Don't get the wrong idea, but yes, and the don't get the wrong idea, but has been a very popular thing Chizuru has been doing that becomes a positive, not negative. Okay, so we went through a lot. Let's look at chapter 49 really quick because someone mentioned chapter 49 and its similarities to the current chapter, which you are correct in a lot of ways now that I think about it, because Chizuru stops Mami on a bridge where just like Kazuya and Chizuru actually walked onto a bridge. They start walking. Yeah, they're on a bridge. They're on a pier. They're on a pier. And yeah, look at that. Look at the pier they're walking onto. And this is what they're referencing. There's still something I have to say. She stops Mami. Is Kazuya serious? Have you ever been serious about him? Did you ever actually let him love you? Did it ever cross your mind that maybe the person that'll make you truly happy? And then she pulls his hand away. The difference is Chizuru grabs Mami's hand forcefully to stop her, whereas with Kazuya, she puts her hand over his. Again, a lot of these are comparable. You're not wrong, but the way Chizuru grabs his hand is very sensitive and weak, but it reflects her love and how scared she is. It is very similar to that, right? This kind of similar to this. Yeah. It's more desperate. Here, it's a bit more shy, but yeah, right. You can even see it in the bubbles. The bubbles are like sharp and intense here. It's a little different. I wonder what chapter he's specifically nodding to, but it seems like it's nodding to a lot as it is a culmination of chapters. All right, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, subscribe, like button, and the bell icon, keep up with the uploads. Consider supporting me on Patreon if you like this kind of content, and if you'd like to see more. I'm kind of trying to see what I can do else for Patreon. If you guys watch the stream live, I actually watched through the latest Shunji family episode. I don't know if I would make that into a video. Maybe I will. I'm trying to figure out what else I can do for Patreon that would be special to Patreon only. I was thinking of doing watch-alongs, but you know, it's not quite the same. But we'll have to see. Either way, I'd really appreciate any support you can give me, and it would mean a lot. And with that said, thank you guys for watching, and remember, let's move.